Zimbabwe, home to the Big Five. Home of the massive African elephant, the majestic lion, the mighty rhino, the tough buffalo, and the graceful leopard. Zimbabwe has a very high level of biodiversity. Nearly 6,000 plant species grow in diverse terrain of the country. Over 40% of the country is still under forests and woodlots. After Botswana, Zimbabwe has the second largest population of elephants in the world and has the fourth largest population of black rhinos. However, Zimbabwe's biodiversity is threatened by habitat loss, ecosystems degradation, and consequences of climate change. Illegal wildlife trade is now a multifaceted and complex challenge, with dozens of species being poached. In addition to poaching, human development also puts pressure on the wildlife population. As the need for land for farming and human settlement increases, the animal habitat diminishes, leading to an increase in human and wildlife conflict. Communities that reside next to protected areas are frequently pitted against large animals such as elephants, hippos, lions, and hyenas, which raid crops, compete for water and pastures, and attack livestock and, in some cases, humans.
Dambudziko rakaitika nderekuti mumusha medu memapinda nzara kana kuti muri kutopinda nzara nekuda kwenzou. Because nzou idzi padzinouya dzinotangidzira chike semapfunde achangotanga kudai so. Anenge dzinza kutotanga kutoya kuzoparadza. Saka kuti tizokwanisa kukohwa chikafu chedu chatinenge takatarisira kuti chakohwa hachisiriyo chikafu chatichawana. Uye nzou dzakurwisana nevanhu. Because time yadzinopinda mumaminda isinoita kurwisawo kuti chikafu chedu chakudyiwa ndo padzinorwisana nevanhu dzouraya vanhu.
Between 2010 and 2015, 88 lives, 5,000 livestock, and 6,000 hectares of crops were lost as a result of human and wildlife conflicts in communal areas. Zimbabwe's biodiversity is also under threat from uncontrolled veld fires and the impact of climate change. One of the biodiversity hotspots in the country is the mid to Lower Zambezi Valley. In 2018, the Ministry of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry, together with the UNDP, initiated a 6-year project to ensure that the biodiversity in the Zambezi Valley is protected from both anthropogenic and natural threats. The initiative, known as the Zambezi Valley Biodiversity Project, is supported by a grant of $10 million from the Global Environmental Facility, GEF, and $2 million from the UNDP.
This project is being implemented in the Zambezi Valley in 3 districts, Mzarabani, Mbire, and Hurungwe, and also in the protected areas, Manapools National Park and the surrounding safari areas, and working through the Ministry of Environment, Climate, Tourism and Hospitality Industry. We work with the Parks and Wildlife Management Authority, who deal with issues to do with wildlife, on forest issues. We work with the Forestry Commission, and on fires and other environmental issues. We work with the Environmental Management Agency, EMA. We also work with the Campfire Association on community projects. In addition to that, we are supporting NGOs through small grants to improve the livelihoods of communities and attend to issues to do with communities.
The government of Zimbabwe and other partners are co-financing the project to the tune of $45 million. The mid to lower Zambezi region covers over 2.3 million hectares and hosts key flagship animal species, including 4 of the big 5 mammals. The area extends into Zambia and Mozambique and is an important wildlife migratory route for Zambia, Zimbabwe, and Mozambique. The mid to lower Zambezi Valley contains areas of international importance, which include a Ramsar site, an important bird area, UNESCO Biosphere Reserve, and UNESCO World Heritage Site, among others. The overall objective of the 6-year initiative is to address multiple threats to biodiversity and sustainable community development in the mid to lower Zambezi.
The mid to lower Zambezi landscape was chosen because of the issues that were subsisting there. Issues to do with illegal wildlife trade, issues to do with deforestation, issues to do with livelihoods of communities, issues to do with human-wildlife conflict management. So the government then chose a landscape approach instead of giving projects throughout the country in different areas to look at the whole landscape which had all these issues and address them, working together with other partners and the communities themselves.
The project is working with the Parks and Wildlife Management Authority to strengthen their capacity to protect wildlife and woodlands from poachers.
We managed to get a vehicle, an ambulance for our clinic. The clinic is there to service all stations in the mid-Zambezi Valley, which means it stretches all the way from Charara in Kariba, up there in Kariba, down to Dande safari area, as well as Doma there. So it's there to service all the stations.
Asi ambulance inokwanisa kutibatsira kuti nenzvimbo yatiri iri kure nekunenge kune hospitals. Saka ambulance iyi tinoishandisa pakuti kana tichinge tawirwa nedambudziko, anenge awirwa nedambudziko from here Manapuzi kunobata nearest chipatara chedu chitori ne almost 150 kilometers. Saka ambulance inotibatsira kuti tikwanise kufamba kusvika nzvimbo idzodzo.
We have received some camping equipment for our rangers for use in the field, and we have currently we have this project which is there right now, the digitalization of our radio system, whereby we are having the whole area connected and being able to communicate with our rangers in the field.
Nzvimbo yatiri isango risina yatinoti masaisai edzimwe mamwe wireless akasiyana siyana. Asi wireless iyo yeradhio tinoishandisa nekuti ndo yega iripo means yatinokwanisa kucommunicate nevanhu vari kumusango nevari paoffice kuti vazive kuti zvatinenge tichisangana nazvo kana zvatinenge tichiita pazuva roga roga musango vakwanise kuzvinzwisisa nekutaura navo through that radio.
Kuchengetedza zviwanikwa zvemusango zvakakoshera kuti vashanyi vedu vanobva kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana pavanouyo vachiona mhuka dzatinochengeta zvinoita kuti nyika yedu irambe ichingoenderera mberi, kuti upfumi hwatinahwo hurambe huripo sekuchengetedza kwatinenge tichizviita.
To address deforestation and promote sustainable land use and facilitate climate-smart landscape management, the project has partnered with the Forestry Commission and NGOs to work with communities to plant an ambitious target of 2.2 million trees over the 6 years. An additional benefit is that some community members are establishing their own woodlots to improve their livelihoods.
Takagadzira manesaries. Nesari yedu yokutanga iri panonzi wilderness. Ndio pa nesari takasponswa iyo neJF6 neprogram iyeyi yanambotaura pakutanga kuti inonzi Mid to Lower Zambezi Valley Biodiversity Project. Inongwa demonstration chete yokuti zvigopararira zvichienda mumatunhu ese district rino. So far tine varimi vatozvigamuchira, tine varimi vakaproducer manesaries seedlings.
Taive tiri varimiwo vefodya zvakasimba, ndobva vationesa kuti kuita miti kwakarurama. Takazoonekwa neveforestry commission, ndobva vauya vakati mungatiitirawo miti here 200,000 Forestry Commission yakauya ikatora miti ikazotipawo kamubairo kedu kayakatipawo. Mumusha umu ndakakwanisa kutenga chigayo ndikakwanisa kugadzirisa dzimba dzangu nekudya kwemhuri.
The project is promoting the uptake of energy-saving technologies and alternative energy sources to reduce the heavy usage of firewood.
Biogas riri kutibatsira. Ndingabvire kuhuni handichaziva kuenda kuhuni. Ndakungoshandisa biogas iroro. Saka zvinhu zvakanaka. Temu yandaenda kuhuni, yandaipedza ndiri kuhuni kana kuti vana yavaipedza vari kuhuni. Ezvinezvi yatosevheka time iyo. Takutoita mamwe mabasa. Kana kuvatyira kuti vana vachanosangana nemhuka kusango hapasisina patosevheka. Ininiwo utano hwangu kuti ndichatsigana nehuni kana kunotema huni hapasina. Ndakungobika plus mapoto angu achatomboita tsito. Even mumba hamuite tsito. Pane fertilizers anobuda zvakare mubiogas. Pari zvinhu tinongoita kungosevha zvimvura tinovhirita kumunda. Zvichita setopu chaiyo yakanyatsonaka.
Takawinzirwa project neSafire tichidhonwa neUNDP. Safire yakativigira mishini yekuisa dovi miviri kozoita chingoda stofu. Chingoda stofu ichi chinoshanda nehuni shoma shoma. Mashandiro achinongoita chakangoda kungofanana nechizvimasotso stofu. Ndakadzidziswa zvakare neSafire zvinoshandiswa zvakare huni shoma. Titsotso iti takanakira kuti hatikwanise kuriga miti yakawandisa. Pano kuti tiende kana kuti kusango kurefu kuno kumunzvimbo yedu ine mhuka ndodambudziko riripo.
Elephants are responsible for 75% of human and wildlife conflict cases in the mid to lower Zambezi region. They raid granaries and crop fields. When not addressed, they create food insecurity in already vulnerable areas.
Right, so kumashure kwedzimbo dzakawanda zvokusvika kuma60. Minda yavanhu yakaparadzwa nenzou. Yakawandisa zvikuru minda yakaparadzwa nenzou. Saka munomuti vane nzara nekuda kwenzou idzodzo.
In addition, as the communities respond and retaliate, they put their own lives at risk.
Kumashure iko kufuti zvekare tine munhu watakashakirwa naye atsikwa nenzou 2016. Then this year 2021 takashakirwa namai vakakazvitakura vakatsikwa futi zvakare nenzou.
We are quite concerned that we have high numbers of incidences, but also high fatalities that have taken place. And as a country, we are taking stern measures to try and make sure that we provide the relief to communities, but also at the same time making sure that our animal populations continue to grow.
Also issues to do with human and wildlife conflict management. We are supporting with fuel, training of rangers for both national parks and also the district councils, so that they can attend to human and wildlife conflict issues.
Rangers edu inotova department riri mukanzuru. Ane allocation anowana yezvekusevenzesa kubva kukanzuru. Asi sezvatinoziva kuti makanzuru pane paanoomerwa. Tinoda kutenda project nezvayakaita. Rangers edu tichifana kuti matengere uniforms, zvinhu zvombo zvokusevenzesa zvavo zvinosanganisa kunyangwe pfuri dzavanoridza chaidzo mudenga vachidzinga nzou. Tinoda kuti vazame kunge vane chikafu chakakwana. Vanofana kunge vane matende ekuti vasanaiwawo. Vanofana kunge vane matochi.
In Mbire district, we are conducting a lot of activities. We acknowledge receiving vehicles from UNDP that we are using to conduct patrols, because we do have some animals that give us problems.
Ndinodavira kuti hatina even a week tabva kutraining yakasponswa neJEF, because nozoti takugona kushandisa smart kuburikidza nechikoro chatikaendeswawo neJEF.
We acknowledge the importance of biodiversity and conservation. We have been able to put in some resources to support our national parks, to support EMA, to support Forestry Commission, but these are never enough. And we have been also very fortunate that we have received some bit of support from a number of international agencies. But we believe that there is a lot more that can be done if more funding is availed.
The project is working with communities to reduce incidents of human and wildlife conflict through the use of biofences in the form of beehives in areas adjacent to protected areas.
Nyuchi chinhu chinokwanisa kudzivirira nzou kuti dzisapinde mumaminda edu. Tinoisa mukoko edu kunzira dzatinoziva kuti idzi ndo dzinouya nenzou. Saka ndokunongoiswa mukoko iyoyo yese. For example, kugomo kwadzinouya nako.
All of these approaches employed would be futile if the communities in the Zambezi Valley Biodiversity Project area do not have a stake in the activities. A key strategy employed is to ensure that partnerships are built with the local communities through the establishment of 6 campfire wildlife conservancies. These are communal wildlife areas with high level of community involvement for intensive restoration of wildlife and habitats to increase populations and quality of wildlife. They ensure communities benefit from sustainable utilization through safari hunting, photographic tourism, ecotourism, and other forms of sustainable use of natural resources.
We need to make sure that communities, for instance, are supported to be able to adapt. We need to make sure that our wildlife is supported so that they do not encroach into human settlements and vice versa, human settlements not encroaching into wildlife habitat.
We depend on biodiversity for food, ecosystem services. So it is important for us to conserve biodiversity, not only in the project area, but throughout the country, because it is about our livelihood and it is about survival of people, of communities.
Together, these and other strategies, including the review of the Wildlife Policy, the Parks and Wildlife Act, the Environmental Management Act, will assist to achieve both mid- and long-term benefits for communities and wildlife in the mid to lower Zambezi Valley.